And good evening, everyone, and welcome to 12 News special coverage of Decision 2024 on this historic election night. Could battleground state Arizona decide who wins the White House, and which direction will our state and local races swing? There's a lot on the line tonight, and we have it all covered right here on 12 Plus. Mark, we're going to have continuous hours of live coverage of everything election. We've got the Valley and the state covered tonight.
Just to put it in context, this is our Super Bowl.
Yes.
I mean, there's the NFL Super Bowl. This is America's Super Bowl. This is it. This is the pinnacle for America. So much on the line. Many people saying, and I would agree, we'll find out if Bram Resnick agrees, the most consequential U.S. election since 1860 when Abraham Lincoln was running, and America, ironically, as it is now, was deeply divided.
It's more than deep division, and the historians agree on this. This is the most consequential election since 1860. You have, on the one hand, potential for the first female president to be elected. On the other side, the first president who would be a criminal convict, who would have sentencing in 3 weeks or so, and is already charged with conspiring to overturn an election. And there are questions about what Donald Trump would do going forward in the office. Kamala Harris, it's fair to say, is in a pretty wide mainstream of candidates for president. Those are the stakes right now, and I want to kind of set the table for you for what we're going to see at 8 p.m. tonight. We're going to see the first million or so ballots from Maricopa County, plus other ballots from around the state. Those are all early ballots. In most cases, they were turned in before Friday or Thursday. That's a little fuzzy. And the way early ballots are trending, majority Republican, not votes, but just ballots, it appears that at 8 p.m. we're going to see Republicans leading at the top of the ticket. Donald Trump should have a lead, we expect. Kari Lake in the Senate race should be in the lead. Now, there's a long way to go. There would be maybe 1.5 million more ballots to count. That's a rough estimate, so long way to go. More ballots to be released later tonight, tomorrow, day after. But that's where things stand right now. And at some point, we're going to have to talk about late early ballots, because they will figure into this ballot count and why it could be delayed. Okay, we're going to talk.
And what are those late earlies, to just clarify for folks watching?
Late earlies are late early ballots, and they're the ballots that people who have early ballots filled out and dropped off today at vote centers. Here's why they're a problem. Nothing against the folks who dropped them off today, like on the eBay sitting next to me.
Oh, why'd you have to call me out like that?
I want to point out, you take care with your ballot. That's all.
It's a holiday for me. I like to do it on the day of.
Holiday. Terrific.
Happy holidays.
Get yourself out, girl. So seriously, so these don't get counted today. They have to be counted. The number of them have to be counted by tonight before they can go to the tabulation center. That's because of a new law. Then they have to be signature verified. So those ballots, and we have no idea how many of them there are. We might find out later tonight or tomorrow. We have no idea how many of them are. The results of those ballots will slowly filter out through the rest of the week. To end this, just remember back to 2018 when Martha McSally was leading Kyrsten Sinema in that Senate race. It was the early ballots that delivered victory to Kyrsten Sinema several days later.
Bram, how has voting gone today? I mean, there's been a lot of focus on Arizona and just how smoothly or not smoothly our voting process would go today. What are you hearing?
Well, what I'm hearing and seeing, and I think what our reporters will verify, it has been an exceptionally smooth day for voting. There have been lines at some polling places. That happens. The lines dissipated. People got to vote. There are no reports of anyone not getting to vote, no reports of any serious equipment breakdowns that affected the vote. One thing I do need to point out, up in Apache County, the Navajo Nation is suing Apache County right now, an emergency lawsuit, to keep the polls open there till 9 p.m. They say they weren't open on time this morning. There were other hurdles to voting. This is a big deal. It could, number one, slow down the vote. It's especially a big deal to Democrats. Joe Biden won Apache County with 66% of the vote in 2020, so there's a major Democratic stronghold. We'll provide updates on that situation as we get there.
And we'll see if Native Americans get out and vote. Jonathan Nez, former president of the Navajo Nation, is running in a congressional race that we will talk about later on. But he and Ruben Gallego spent extensive time traveling through all of the tribal nations, trying to drum up and get out the Native American vote. It's a significant block if they turn out.
It's a significant block. Ruben Gallego traveled to at least 20 of the 22 tribal nations. I was with him on one of those trips down to the Havasupai Nation at the bottom of the canyon. It's an important vote, and especially as we keep talking about this election, we keep repeating the race is going to be tight. That's what I hear from all the players involved. The race is going to be tight. Every vote matters. The Native vote could be significant. On the Democratic side, Republicans aren't giving up without a fight. They've been contesting it as well, going up to the Navajo Nation, other tribal lands, to appeal to those voters.
All right, Bram, so you're going to be here with us all night giving us analysis. We have crews out in the field at voting centers, crews at the tabulation center. We have crews at the Democratic and Republican watch parties tonight. But first, we're going to head out to Sean Rice. He is out in the West Valley at Goodyear at a voting center where the voting center just closed about 7 minutes ago. Sean, how are things looking there?
Yeah, hey there, Caribe. For the last couple of hours, we've been here at Goodyear City Hall. There's been quite a line developing here in the West Valley, mainly here at this location at Goodyear City Hall. I'm told folks are waiting anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes even longer, to get through this line here behind me. Now, I want to show you what we're seeing. This gentleman here in the blue is actually an elections worker working here. He's cut off this line. That's because the polls just closed at 7 p.m. this evening. An elections worker came out and it gave a resounding "Hear ye, hear ye, the polls have now closed." But anyone who remains in this line before that time will, of course, have their ballots counted. I want to show you some video we shot earlier this evening here at Goodyear City Hall. Several folks tell me they had to wait until they were off work to come into this location and vote in person here today. Many say they had no problem standing in it because of just how important this election is to them. Now, some express surprise that it is as long as it is, while others say it's expected in battleground Arizona. Take a listen.
Not surprising, because this is an important election. Everybody wants their voice to be heard.
Not even 45 minutes. It was in it quick. They doing a good job in there.
Were they?
Yeah.
Were you in this line right here?
I was in this line. I just came out there. They running them through real quick.
I was actually surprised. Yeah, I walked in and I'm thinking I actually thought I was going to be inside, like everyone was going to be inside, but then I said, oh wow, that's kind of long. Then we walk around the corner. Oh yeah.
Now, Arizona has a two-page ballot for the first time since 2006. Poll workers here in Goodyear tell me that is, of course, adding to the wait times, but they fully expect to process everyone and get everyone through this line by the end of this evening. So as you heard a moment ago, several of these voters are certainly not discouraged by the length of the line. Many have actually complimented the work being done inside to ensure that everyone's vote is counted on this, of course, consequential election night 2024. As for how long it will take, many of the election workers I spoke with, as we show you it one more time, they tell me that even if it takes until midnight tonight to get everyone through this line, they will remain here for as long as it takes to ensure that everyone's voice is heard. We'll send it back to you guys.
And Sean, do they have a sign or something that says that you can't get in line anymore?
Yeah, no type of sign. What it is they've just put an elections worker right at the very end of that line. We saw a few folks that maybe didn't realize the polls closed at 7. They came up, tried to get in line. They were turned away. So they're really, of course, as Arizona law requires, adhering to that 7 p.m. poll closing time. And nobody else is allowed in. So it's just that election worker at the end of the line to let everyone know that those are the rules and everyone has to abide by them.
All right, Sean Rice, thank you. Let's continue our coverage now. One of the really interesting things that we're seeing today is two huge blocks of voters are coming out. Students and women. In North Carolina and in Pennsylvania, women are turning out, and I want to get your take on this, but if perhaps those two voting blocks were undercounted, women responding to women's reproductive rights in that issue and how big of an issue that could be going forward. And when you talk about students, at ASU, we've seen a tremendous voter turnout today. Let's check in with 12 News journalist Rachel Cole, who has been in the line at ASU near the fitness center for most of the day. Rachel?
Yeah, and Mark, it's interesting you bring up the women voters. There are quite a few over here, specifically a huge group of people that are holding up signage for Prop 139 and making sure that they are educating the voters in and near the line. And if people wonder why it takes so long to count votes, it's because there's still an extreme amount of people in line here at the ASU Fitness Center on the ASU campus in Tempe. So, of course, we also had an elections worker come out and stop the line at 7 o'clock. But the people who are in line, of course, will get to cast their ballots. And there are plenty of booths inside the gymnasium. And everything has, as Bram said, been exceptionally smooth, you know, knock on wood. But this is our second location today, and everything has been smooth sailing. And what's really cool is to see all of these young, a lot of first-time voters out here. Long, even with all of their opposing swag on, a lot of Harris Walls t-shirts, you know, Sun Devils for Harris Walls, and then you've got, of course, all of your red Make America Great Again hats out here, and a lot of people just trying to educate each other and make sure that everyone is well versed as they go in and face that two-page ballot. You know, as we know, across Arizona, 79 choices on average across the state of Arizona. So it's great to see all these people in line. A lot of people saying party at the polls, so it's far from stressful, even with the long lines and things moving very smoothly. We had a chance to talk with some first-time voters a little earlier today. Go ahead and take a listen.
I like to at least listen to everybody. Maybe I don't agree, but everybody has a right to express their opinions. Everyone has a right to at least think what they want to think. Maybe I don't agree with it. Maybe I just don't really think it's a great idea, but that's okay.
Prop 139 automatically comes to a lot of voters' minds, no matter what side of the, you know, like, opinion you're on. I think that's probably like my number one issue right now.
So as we said, been chatting with a lot of different voters, and again, you can kind of tell who they're voting for based on the t-shirts they're rocking, the swag they've got. And what's cool is they walk in, they cast their ballot, and guess what? They hit the intramural fields all together over there. We've seen a couple of Harris Walls supporters saying, oh, there goes my friend on the scooter with the MAGA hat on. So it's been very peaceful out here, and it's really cool to see this younger generation get out and vote and feel like they are making an impact, because as we know, they certainly are, and the people who are still in line will get that opportunity to cast those ballots. We'll send it back to you guys from Tempe.
Rachel, is there one galvanizing issue that all of the students seem to be pretty jazzed about, and maybe one of the reasons that drew them out there to vote today?
You know, a lot of it is the economy. Several of them mentioned gas prices, even though I was under the impression they all rode scooters, as I see them all whizzing by behind me for the last couple of hours. But a lot of them say that the economy is important. You know, they're not going to be able to live on those M&G dollars forever. So they said that they also want interest rates to drop, because they want to be able to buy those houses as first-time home buyers and kind of get out from under mom and dad or their guardians' aid when it comes to finances. So a lot of them are talking about the economy out here, and it's just great to see. A lot of them voted early too, so they wouldn't miss class. I find that very admirable. I love that.
Yeah. All right. Rachel, thanks.